Here we go. Hey there. This is our Manard Mitra Yah, Monks of the Way. Um, Today, it's a Sit With Me Saturday. So, buckle up. So, I'm in the Walmart parking lot. It's cold outside. A mixture of not enough foresight and weather has put me inside the RV. I suppose I could have imposed on somebody. Didn't do it. Still okay. Still going to be a good Sit With Me Saturday. I made a little advertisement in my own group to see if anybody would want to show up, see if maybe the advertisement reaches some people, although I don't know that the advertisement reaches very many people. And I don't know that very many people get any kind of a notification if they're on Facebook at the moment that I've gone live. I only had like a handful of notifications ever that somebody's gone live. And I've got to think of all those, I don't know how many Facebook friends I have, like 1,000 or whatever. I'm sure they're going live, but I'm not seeing them. And we already know that people that you see walking around the Walmart parking lot, interesting group, the demographic, to be sure. Anyway, today, the thing from Buddha will be MN3, third chapter, the third talk, rather, I guess, that's featured in the mid-length discourses. Okay, so before I jump into that, I might as well, I guess. Also going to do something about meditation, I guess, and you know, talk to people if they want to talk. Yep, Robert's there. That's great. Uh, Battery on the phone won't last forever. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to give a little Mercedes barking. Mercedes barking. No more barking. That's enough. Okay, that's enough. Going to give a little context to this here, where I jump into that, which is that if you were one of Buddha's monks, they had established meal times. And so if you weren't within that meal time, uh, which could be extended because Buddha showed up and he was running late, maybe. I don't know. I suppose something could happen because I know there was a provision for when Buddha was finished. So, I mean, I guess if you run the joint, you get to be the guy that extends mealtime, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, the important part is that there were established meal times and established rules, and very much like a army barracks, maybe. I guess you get there too late to eat, you're gonna wait until they start serving breakfast in the morning. So anyway, Buddha was at a place in Jedda's Grove. Some of this I'm summarizing. I have highlighted areas and stuff. I don't know if you can hear that engine going. might be a bit too much. Anyway, um, Boone was standing at Jedda's Grove. Um, he was talk. He talked to the monks. He said, "Monks." They said, "Yes, sir," basically. And he said, "I want you guys to inherit the way of things that I've been teaching, and I don't want you to inherit material things, or materialism, maybe it could be said. Out of compassion for you, I thought this basically. And if you inherit the material things, then people are going to dog on you, rightfully so. That you that they inherited the material things and they didn't inherit the way of things. And if that happens, then they're going to talk about me like that too. He says, if you are heirs of the way of things, if you do inherit the teaching of the way of things, um, and not you're not inheriting the material things, um, you're not going to get dogged on like that, and I'm not going to get dogged on like that. Now he goes on. He goes, suppose that I had eaten, refused to have any more, had my fill, finished, had enough, had what I needed, and some donation food was left over to be thrown away. Then two monks show up, hungry and weak, and I told them, "Hey, monks, I ate, had what I needed, but there's more donation food that got made, and of that was mine left over. That's just going to get thrown away. You can eat it if you want to." Well, if you don't eat it, then I'm going to throw it away where there's no greenery, or drop it in water where there's no life. And we could talk about those two choices some other time, but that's important to note that he said that. Um, he was very pro-life, I guess you'd say. Not in the. Anyway, one of the two monks, thought, well, the Blessed One ate. He had what he needed. Blah blah blah. He said, but he did say monks be heirs of the way of things and not material things. Now, this donation food that he was going to eat, made for him, is one of those material things. Suppose that instead of eating this, I wait. I pass the rest of the day and the night, and I'm just going to be hungry and weak. Basically, he's going to wait till morning to have morning food. And instead of eating that food, he did go ahead and wait. Then the second one thought, um, he said it was okay. He said he was done. He said it was going to get thrown away if we didn't eat it. So, you know what? I'm going to eat it. So then, which one of those two was was uh, was more acceptable? And Buddha said that it was the first one, that he had he'd paid attention closer to the teachings, and he was willing to do things the way they're supposed to be done. Let's see. He says that first monk is to be more respected and commended by me. Why is that? Because that will for a long time conduce to his fewness of wishes, contentment, uh, ease, support, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying to, once again, pay attention to the teachings. So then the Sariputta is one of his two main monks, which he had to, of course. Sariputta talks to the monks. And we can discuss some other time how there's a leaning towards the one monk, but it's pretty obvious to me that he had two monks that addressed him pretty closely there and kept him going. And one was making speeches and the other one was not. So it was probably helping him out with everything else. So, I don't think we should look down on one or the other or think that one of them was the superior. But, it's okay. He says to the monks, he says, friends, monks. And they said, friend. And he says, friends, in what way do monks of what way do monks of the teacher who lives secluded not train in seclusion? And in what way do disciples of the teacher who lives secluded train in seclusion? So what ways don't they, and what ways do they? He says, pay attention to what I'm going to say. They say yes, of course. They do not abandon what the teacher tells them to abandon. They are luxurious and careless leaders they're leaders in backsliding, neglectful of seclusion. In this, the elder monks are to be blamed for three reasons. As disciples of the teacher who lives secluded, they do not train in seclusion. They are to be blamed for this first reason. They do not abandon what the teacher tells them to abandon. They're to be blamed for the second reason. They live luxurious and careless, leaders in backsliding, neglectful of seclusion. They are to be blamed for the third reason. The elder monks are to be blamed for these three reasons. He's establishing there that there's the teacher, there's the elder monks. Next, he mentions the middle monks. The middle monks are to be blamed for three reasons, and basically they're the same three reasons. Surprise, surprise. In this, the elder monks are to be commended. Well, what if you succeed, of course? What if you do teach correctly? What if you do practice correctly? The elder monks are to be commended for three reasons. As disciples of the teacher who lives secluded, they train in seclusion, so on and so forth. Of course, they abandon what they're supposed to abandon. They don't live luxurious and careless. They don't lead other people in backsliding, and they do deal with that seclusion. In this, the middle monks are to be commended for three reasons. Guess what those three reasons are? Let's see. Friends. Evil therein is greed and hate. There is a middle way for the abandoning of greed and hate, giving vision, giving knowledge, which leads to peace, pardon me, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to uh, peace that you get from enlightenment. And what is that middle way? It is just this noble eightfold path that is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. There are a little bit better translations of those, but I'm sure you get the general idea and you can research those things. This is the middle way, and giving vision, giving knowledge, which leads to peace, direct knowledge to enlightenment, to the peace that you get from enlightenment. That is what the elder monk Sariputta said, and the monks were satisfied and delighted in the elder monk's words. So, after that, it gives some of the context, which I probably should have mentioned before, which is that that's a thing for monks. They're talking about the monk life. They're not talking about the lay follower. They're not talking about the average person that's a Buddhist. They're talking about the monk life. So if it seems a little extreme for regular people, it would be too extreme to talk in some of those ways. Do I think that everybody who's going to have any kind of meditation practice is going to have any kind of good Buddhist practice in their life is going to have some seclusion in it? I do think that. Do I think it rises to that of a monk? Absolutely, I do not. Um, if it did raise to that level, if they took it that far, not that they should, but if they did, could it be wise? Could it be productive? Could it be good for everybody? Absolutely, it could be. So is it wrong for everybody? I wouldn't say it's wrong for everybody who's not a monk, but would I say it's wrong for most people that are a monk? Absolutely, I would. Um, I had a little backsliding myself. I was not taking periods of seclusion that I should have taken. I wasn't skillful enough in figuring out how much seclusion I needed, how much I could skip, what I could skip that seclusion for. Um, and so that was a problem. And I'm dealing with that. Still dealing with that. Dealt with it, but still dealing with it. I'm back on track, but you know, when you have failures, you have to look at stuff. that that leads me to probably the next part. Kev Smith is also there. Uh, Katie Kardik is also there. Glad you could sit with me for a minute. um, of course, after the talk, you could rewind it and listen to the beginning part or whatever, but um, I'm up to the meditation part. And I think the meditation part that I want to mention this time is um, a kind of pondering meditation. A kind of pondering meditation, and I'm going to give some actual details about that too. Um, Normally, I guess I wouldn't go as in depth into a meditation type, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. By pondering meditation, I mean you have a thing that you need to consider. You need to consider it because it's in your future, it's in your present, or it's in your past, or some kind of combination of those. Um, so let's say I had a big decision to make. I could leave town for that job or I could stay and give up that opportunity. I had an opportunity to help somebody with something, but if I did that, there was going to be some other price to pay. Um, Boy, I could really make examples all day. I think you people probably could too. Anyway, in meditation, you can consider things. And what I've found most effective is to sit for a while and just think of that one thing. So let's say, um, I don't know if it matters what the particular question is or the particular topic that I need to think about for whatever reason. But you think about it and you think about it directly. So you're thinking about what that question is or that thing, that topic, and you're staying on that topic. And every time you see yourself going off of that topic, you go, "Hey, you know what? this is this is not clearly the topic, and it needs to clearly be the topic, or I shouldn't be thinking about it." And in this way, you can allow your brain to go through and go through and go through thinking simplistically about these things and all going off on all the branches that you didn't even know were there of thinking of it. Even if you think, well, yeah, it's a thought concerning that, but it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Think it. Think it and think it truly. I mean, really think it. Don't just dismiss it. Don't just be like, I'm only thinking this because I'm supposed to be thorough. No, you need to honestly be there with it. And so, when you know for sure the long time back that you've exhausted any original content that you might come across, might generate in your mind there, any new paths that you might go down, then it's time to, well, if this is a long session, if it's not, I guess wait to the next session. But the next thing to be, the next thing would be to consider different counts of separation. So how many points of separation you have. So let's say you were thinking of baseball, and that made you think of chewing tobacco, which, is it associated? Yes. But it is a point of separation, a point of divergence. From there, you could go chewing tobacco. I'm thinking about chewing tobacco, and I'm thinking about when I purchased chewing tobacco. And from there, I think about where I purchased the tobacco and the other things they sell there. And so, how many points of misdirection have you gone there? Um, Maybe I shouldn't say misdirection, but you get what I'm saying. How many derivations, how many splits should I go off of? And it depends, honestly, but it's absolutely a good practice for you to get into the mindset of being able to keep track of how many splits have you gone down that road and where are you in that process. At the same time, you're really trying to stretch your mind to and have anything occur to you that didn't occur to you before. And you will find that you can go 2 or even 3 levels of separation from the original topic and still find things that are immensely valuable to you in pondering whatever it is you're pondering. It's this method of pondering gets you outside the box. You're not just outside the box because, like I said, well, this is a silly thing to be thinking or it's stupid. It's associated, but I shouldn't be thinking it because it's useless. Well, no. If you discount things like that, you're not going to be able to really appreciate them for what they are.
when they're useful. Um, got a fire truck. Anyway, when you go to the points of separation like that, you're going to find also that you're thinking way outside the box, you know? And honestly, most of that's going to be ridiculous. Most of that's going to be useless. But for that one absolutely brilliant thing you never would have come up with otherwise, worth it. Worth it. Just for that one thing that you never would have thought of that's pretty clever. Worth it. Clever is probably not the right word since you didn't really. I'm not sure you went about it through clever means. Maybe they're clever means, but skillful. You used skill to arrive there. So skillful means, I would say for sure. And so pondering's a wild thing. Different people have different. You only have so much mental energy in your batteries, so you might decide to um, that your brain is just beat, and you're going to give up pondering meditation after 10 minutes, and that would be great. And most meditations, 10 minutes is pretty much all you get anyway for the main productive area. Um, but if your batteries can keep going and you can go for an hour, heck, if you can go for 3 hours, that's just great. So much you could get done. You're going to find that this will build up your ability to think, to think through things when you didn't have such ability before. Um, if a person's life depended on them coming up with a clever idea to escape prison the night before they're going to get killed, uh, you know, a lot of people couldn't think to save their own life for more than a few minutes at a time. They'd be going off on tangents that are not only unrelated, but that they're not even considering how they might apply to getting out. I would say if a person's life depended on it, I don't think a person has the capacity to really focus on thinking about something for more than, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2 hours in a day, a whole day, 24 hours. Well, some of that you sleep, so I guess that's not as impressive as it sounds. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people only have the power to think of something with focus for 30 minutes in a day. One particular thing they need to think about. So I you might doubt some of what I'm saying about that, and that's okay. I mean, you should be skeptical, but um, I do promise you that if you somewhat regularly do pondering meditation that like that, you are going to have a noticed increase in your ability to think about things and have your mind be disciplined about thinking about things. Um, so not just when they're convenient, but when you need to think about them. Awesome. Anyway, I think I still see a couple of people there. You guys had any questions about anything that's on your mind, a Buddhist teaching, a Buddhist view on something, you could bring that up. Happy to just sit with you and talk about whatever. I have the Buddhist bend to it. I'm glad I got that red. Losing some of the light. Looks like there aren't quite as many questionable individuals in the parking lot at the moment. What a nice break.
You can see some of the weirdest things in the Walmart parking lot. Basically living mostly in Walmart parking lots. Um, I see it. I see a lot. A lot of crazy stuff happens in Walmart parking lots. There was a Walmart parking lot in Phoenix. I'd left there like an hour, maybe half an hour even before. And then some guy got into the back of some lady's car and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you got into my car. What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I thought this was my car. I'm sorry." So he gets out, he goes into his, which for the record, does look the same. And but the lady calls the cops. You know, people are calling the cops. So she calls the cops, and the cops come out, and they're like, "Where's the guy?" And he's still in that car. He's waiting for like somebody, his like wife to come out or his mom or somebody. I don't even know who. And the cop wants him to get out and wants to, give him the business. Um, which he shouldn't have been doing in the first place. He didn't have any proof that the guy had done anything in the first place. So, but you know how cops can get these days. And so the cop escalates things, and the guy tries to, I don't know, do something, get out his wallet or get out his phone and call his mom or whatever. And the cop says, "Well, I thought he was going for a gun and I shot him to death." So there you go. I tell you, I can't make up much more ridiculous stuff than the stuff that really happens in real life. I gotta ask myself, what would I have done if I was there? What could I have done? What would I have done? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I hope it wouldn't have got shot. That would suck. But it makes you think when you miss a deadly shooting by a half an hour or an hour at a place you were at all day. Let's see. How long have we been? It doesn't tell me. Doesn't tell me. It's an improvement there could be to this live thing on Facebook, as it could tell you how long you've been live. That would just make sense. Well, anyway, I'll give you guys a minute. If you have any last minute thing you wanted to ask, anything you wanted to bring up, we could cover that. I think I'm going to do some different kinds of meditation coverage and some future ones. I'm up to MN3 of the mid-length discourses, the mid-length talks. Next time will be 4. Mm, Well, there's plenty of time to get through them. I mean, I think there's 138 of them or 148 or some big number. I don't know how many. I don't know how many. It's never been important to me how many of them there are. All I could swear I've looked up MN 148 before. Do appreciate your stopping by today. Looks like there's not going to be anything else. I hope that Buddha will bless you in his teachings. It's a great day to be alive. Well, thanks for stopping by. Having a seat.